Have you ever worked with a colleague who always puts their personal interests above the team? Someone who is willing to step over others just to score points for themselves? Or have you encountered a leader who stands still, unable to make a decision when the team needs them the most, when every second that passes is a missed opportunity? These behaviors are not just annoying. They are silent toxins that destroy every effort to build a strong team, undermining trust and hindering your success. But don't worry, today we will change that together. In this video, we will explore 7 toxic behaviors that you cannot tolerate in leadership, whether in yourself or in your team. These are not just timeless lessons. They are updated for our modern world in America, where top companies are struggling with these issues every day. So, are you ready to elevate your leadership skills? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we will embark on this journey, exploring, learning, and transforming your team, starting with the first behavior, betrayal. Let's start with the first and perhaps the most dangerous behavior, betrayal. You can think of it as a small crack in a dam. At first glance, it seems insignificant, but if not addressed, it can bring down the entire structure. In a team, betrayal is not just about sharing sensitive information. It is any action that harms the common interest, from spreading toxic rumors to sabotaging the efforts of teammates. And its impact? It can shatter trust, the foundation of every successful team. Betrayal occurs when a team member acts against the interests of the group. This could be disclosing trade secrets, leaking internal information, or even secretly competing with their own teammates. It is not just a single act. It is a breach of commitment, a wound to the unity that you have worked hard to build. Imagine you are building a skyscraper. Every brick, every steel beam must be placed correctly to ensure stability. Betrayal is like someone secretly removing a crucial steel beam. You may not notice it immediately, but when the storm hits, the entire structure can collapse. In a team, betrayal erodes trust, causes division, and weakens team spirit. It not only affects work performance but can also result in the loss of millions of dollars in revenue or a decrease in the company's stock value. To clarify this, let's consider a real-world example. Imagine you are an employee at Google, one of the leading tech companies in America. You have access to sensitive information about new projects, such as a breakthrough product that could change the industry. But instead of protecting that information, you decide to leak it to a competitor. This action not only causes financial damage, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars, but also tarnishes the company's reputation and erodes the trust of customers and partners. This is betrayal at the highest level, and it can dismantle an entire tech empire. So, how can you prevent and address betrayal? First, you need to build a culture of transparency, where everyone feels comfortable sharing their opinions and concerns without fear of punishment. Next, set clear expectations about protecting information. For example, you could establish a rule that no one is allowed to share internal information outside the office within 500 feet, a specific way to remind everyone of the importance of confidentiality. Additionally, ensure there are strict disciplinary measures for those who violate these rules, sending a clear message that betrayal will not be tolerated. Betrayal is a toxic behavior that can undermine any team, from a small startup to a large corporation like Google. But by building a culture of transparency and setting clear expectations, you can protect your team from small cracks before they become disasters. Remember, trust is your most valuable asset. Don't let it erode. Indecisiveness. This is a silent enemy that can destabilize an entire team, and you won't want to miss the strategies to deal with it. Imagine you're driving on a highway in America, where every second counts. Suddenly, you come to a fork in the road and can't decide whether to turn left or right. Every second of hesitation not only delays you but can also endanger yourself and those around you. In leadership, indecisiveness is just as dangerous. It slows progress, undermines credibility, and can lead your entire team astray. Indecisiveness occurs when a leader or team member cannot make timely decisions, especially in critical situations. This isn't just about hesitating before a tough choice but also about letting that hesitation drag on, paralyzing the team's ability to act. It's like a car stuck at a fork in the road, unable to move forward, while time and opportunities slip away second by second. Think about the impact of indecisiveness in a real-world work environment. Each day of hesitation can slow down project progress, waste precious working hours, and in some cases, cost millions of dollars in revenue. But the damage doesn't stop there. It also undermines the leader's credibility. When a leader can't make decisions, the team starts to doubt their abilities, and trust, the key factor in maintaining unity, gradually erodes. In a world where time is money, indecisiveness can be the most silent but dangerous enemy. To illustrate this further, let's consider a real-world example at Walmart, one of the largest retail corporations in America. Suppose a manager at Walmart has to choose a supplier for an important project, such as expanding a new chain of stores nationwide. However, due to hesitation and inability to decide between two potential suppliers, the project is delayed for weeks. Each day of delay not only increases operational costs, potentially thousands of dollars per day, but also misses out on market opportunities, especially in a fiercely competitive industry like retail. The manager's team will start to lose faith, and their credibility will be severely affected. So, how can you overcome indecisiveness? First, start with small, everyday situations to practice making quick decisions. For example, when choosing lunch, set a rule that you only have 2 minutes to decide. This may seem simple, but it helps you build the habit of making decisions without hesitation. Next, apply the principle that 70% information is enough. Don't wait for perfection, because in many cases, a good decision now is better than a perfect decision that comes too late. Finally, create an environment where team members feel safe to share their opinions, which will provide you with more information to make faster and more accurate decisions. Indecisiveness can be a silent enemy, but you can overcome it by practicing and building the habit of making quick decisions. Remember, in leadership, time is a valuable asset. Every second of hesitation can cost you opportunities and the trust of your team. By acting decisively, you not only keep your team on track but also strengthen your own credibility. Have you ever felt that the compliments around you are sometimes too sweet to be true? Or noticed that some people always nod in agreement with you, even when your ideas may not be perfect? That's insincere flattery, a behavior that seems harmless but can quietly undermine your team and lead you astray. Today, we will explore this behavior, its harmful effects, and how to turn honesty into a strength for growth. Insincere flattery is not genuine support or praise with substance. It is blind agreement, without any real constructive feedback. Instead of speaking the truth, the flatterer chooses to say what you want to hear, even if it's not helpful. This isn't just about words, it's also about dishonest feedback, a behavior that can undermine the team from within. Imagine you're leading a major project in the US with a budget of tens of thousands of dollars. Your team just nods and says, "Great," to every decision, even though some choices could lead to failure. What happens next? Real problems are hidden, mistakes aren't corrected, and flawed decisions are approved. The result could be lost money, lost time, and even lost credibility. Insincere flattery is like a beautiful curtain hiding the flaws. By the time you realize it, it's too late. Let's look at a real story in New York, the capital of creativity and pressure. An assistant at an advertising agency was tasked with helping the boss develop a campaign for a major client. The boss proposed a bold idea, but the assistant, despite seeing that the idea was impractical, just said, "Yes, that's great," and didn't offer any counter-arguments. The result? The campaign launched and failed miserably, costing the company tens of thousands of dollars and damaging its reputation. If the assistant had dared to speak up, the story might have been different. So, how can you overcome flattery and build a stronger team? First, encourage honest feedback. Hold meetings where everyone is invited to share differing opinions, not just agree but also ask questions. Second, create a safe space where no one is punished for speaking the truth. Look at top companies in the US like Google or Apple. They succeed because a culture of candid feedback is prioritized. Finally, lead by example. Actively ask your team, "What do you think could be done better?" and show them that you value honesty over flattery. Insincere flattery may make you feel good in the moment, but it will hinder you from achieving true success. Choose honesty, even if it's sometimes hard to hear, because that's the only way for your team to thrive. Don't let sweet words lead you astray, let the truth guide you. Imagine you're driving on a highway stretching hundreds of miles across America, where every decision you make affects the entire group's journey. Suddenly, a passenger starts loudly criticizing your driving in front of everyone. This not only shakes your confidence but also disrupts the morale of the whole team. In leadership, public defiance is just like that. It undermines your authority and can lead the entire team astray. Today, we'll explore why this behavior is dangerous and how you, as a leader, can overcome it with strength and tact. Public defiance occurs when someone openly opposes or criticizes a leader in front of others. This isn't just a simple disagreement, it's a direct attack on the leader's authority, witnessed by the entire group. It could involve questioning decisions, mocking instructions, or even outright defiance. In America, where large companies span multiple states and time zones, maintaining team unity is critical, especially in organizations with tens of thousands of employees. Think of leadership as the steering wheel of a ship. When someone suddenly grabs it, the entire vessel lurches. Public defiance does exactly that. It destabilizes the team. In a massive company like Tesla, with over 100,000 employees spread across different states, even a single act of public defiance can trigger a domino effect, spreading like a shockwave. It weakens the leader's authority, sows doubt within the team, and if left unchecked, can lead to chaos. The damage isn't just emotional, it impacts time, productivity, and can even cost millions of dollars due to inefficiency. Worse still, if this behavior spreads, it can completely shatter the team's trust in their leader. Let's consider a real-world scenario. Picture an important Zoom meeting at Tesla, with hundreds of employees from California to Texas participating. The CEO is presenting a bold strategy to launch a product ahead of schedule. Suddenly, an employee interrupts, publicly criticizing the plan as unrealistic and destined to fail. The chat box lights up, whispers ripple through the virtual room. In that moment, the leader's authority is shaken, and the team's focus shifts from the goal to the drama. This isn't just disrespect, it's a direct threat to the company's momentum. In the fast-paced tech industry, where every day counts, such a disruption can delay progress by weeks, costing the company valuable time and resources. So, how do you, as a leader, handle this situation without losing your composure or the respect of your team? First, establish clear rules of conduct from the beginning. In America, where workplace culture values both free speech and respect for hierarchy, setting boundaries is essential. Let everyone know that you welcome feedback, but public defiance is not acceptable. For example, you could say, "We encourage open dialogue, but disagreements should be raised in private discussions or during designated Q&A sessions." This creates a foundation for respectful communication. Second, when public defiance occurs, handle it calmly but firmly. Acknowledge the person's opinion without escalating the tension. You might say, "I acknowledge your opinion, and we can discuss it further after the meeting." Then, address the issue privately. This approach demonstrates strength. You're not avoiding the problem, but you're also not letting it disrupt the team's shared goals. By handling it this way, you turn a potential conflict into an opportunity for growth, showing your team that you can navigate challenges with calm and wisdom. Exceptional leaders don't avoid challenges, they confront and overcome them. When publicly defied, they don't shrink or get angry. Instead, they turn it into an opportunity to reinforce their vision and strengthen team unity. Remember, leadership isn't about never being challenged, it's about how you respond when challenges arise. By setting clear expectations and addressing issues directly, you not only protect your authority but also inspire your team to follow you through any storm. Imagine you're running a 26-mile marathon in America, where every step demands effort and perseverance. When you cross the finish line, exhausted but proud, what you expect most is praise, a hug, or simply a congratulations from those around you. But instead, there's nothing, just silence. How does that feel? In leadership, ingratitude is similar. It shatters the team's spirit, making extraordinary efforts seem meaningless. Today, we'll explore why ingratitude is one of the most toxic behaviors and how you can turn recognition into a powerful tool to motivate your team. Ingratitude is not just forgetting to say, "Thank you," It is the lack of recognition for the efforts, sacrifices, and contributions of others. In a team, this can manifest through leadership failing to acknowledge overtime, creative ideas, or significant achievements of employees. In the US, where work culture often demands exceptional dedication, not recognizing these efforts can lead to deep dissatisfaction. It not only reduces motivation but can also result in the departure of talented individuals, people you've invested thousands of dollars in training and developing. Think of your team as a powerful engine. Recognition is the fuel that keeps it running smoothly. Without fuel, the engine slows down and eventually stops. Ingratitude does exactly that. It reduces motivation, causes dissatisfaction, and erodes cohesion. In a large company like Amazon with over 1.5 million employees worldwide, failing to recognize effort can lead to widespread discontent, reduced productivity, and even high turnover rates. Studies show that the cost of replacing an employee can be 1.5 to 2 times their annual salary, a massive investment wasted simply due to a lack of recognition. Let's look at a real-world scenario at Amazon, one of the largest companies in the US. Imagine a team of engineers working tirelessly for 3 months, often putting in an extra 10 to 15 hours each week to complete a critical project ahead of schedule. They sacrificed personal time, family, and health to ensure success. But when the project was completed, their boss simply said, "Good, now move on to the next project. No thank you, no recognition." The result? The team felt undervalued, their motivation plummeted, and some talented members began looking for opportunities elsewhere. In a competitive industry like technology, where companies like Google and Microsoft are always scouting for talent, ingratitude could cause Amazon to lose its most valuable assets. So, how can you, as a leader, overcome ingratitude and turn recognition into a powerful tool? First, make recognition an integral part of your team's culture. It doesn't have to be grand rewards. Sometimes, a simple, "Thank you for working an extra 10 hours this week," or an email acknowledging someone's effort can make a big difference. In the US, where employees often work more than 40 hours a week, recognizing overtime is incredibly important. Second, organize regular meetings to recognize the team's achievements. For example, you can spend 5 minutes in the weekly meeting to highlight outstanding contributions. This not only boosts morale but also encourages healthy competition. Finally, lead by example. If you are a leader, regularly show gratitude to your team. Recognition is not just a kind act, but a smart strategy to retain talent and build a loyal team. Great leaders understand that recognition is not just a gift, it is an investment in the team's future. When you acknowledge others' efforts, you not only make them feel valued, but also inspire them to continue contributing. Remember, in the marathon of a career, a timely compliment can be the motivation for someone to run an extra mile. Don't let ingratitude extinguish the team's passion. Turn recognition into fuel to drive them to success. Imagine you are participating in a 26.2-mile relay marathon across the vast fields of America. Each team member has their own part to run, and the team's success depends on smooth coordination and mutual support. But what happens if one person decides to sprint ahead, skipping the baton pass, just to claim personal glory? Not only will the team lose, but trust will be shattered, and all efforts will turn to dust. In work and leadership, unchecked ambition is just like that, a force that can destroy even the strongest teams. Today, we will explore why this behavior is dangerous and how to turn ambition into a driving force that elevates everyone. Unchecked ambition is not just a simple desire for success. It occurs when someone puts personal interests above the team's shared mission. It's when you hear the whisper in your head, "Me first, team second." In America, where individual achievements are often celebrated, this boundary can sometimes be very thin. Ambition can drive creativity, but if not properly directed, it becomes a divisive blade. It's the employee willing to step on colleagues to climb higher, the teammate who takes credit for others' work, or the leader focused solely on building personal reputation while forgetting the organization's future. When unchecked, ambition not only slows progress, it tears the team apart from within. Let's think about a team as a perfect machine, like the engine of a race car at the famous Indianapolis 500. Every part needs to work in sync to reach maximum speed. But if one piston decides to work only for itself, the machine will stutter, slow down, and eventually break down. Unchecked ambition does the same to your team. It breeds dissatisfaction, erodes trust, and creates an environment where everyone is competing against each other instead of conquering goals together. Studies show that teams divided by internal competition can lose up to 30% of their performance, a costly price that companies pay in millions of dollars. But what's the biggest loss? It's the collapse of morale, the loss of valuable talent, and the fractured relationships that take years to mend. To illustrate this, let's consider a fictional but very realistic scenario at Apple, one of America's tech giants with over 150,000 employees. Imagine a talented engineer working on a secret project to develop the next-generation iPhone. Instead of collaborating with colleagues, this person starts withholding information, subtly undermining others' contributions in meetings, and even taking credit for work that isn't theirs, all to secure a promotion. The result? The project is delayed, team morale plummets, and Apple risks losing its edge in a market where every day is worth billions of dollars. In the tech industry, where speed is crucial, this behavior doesn't just harm the team, it threatens the company's leadership position. So, how do you, as a leader, control ambition without extinguishing the flame of passion? The key lies in channeling ambition toward a common goal. First, set clear objectives that the entire team can strive for. For example, instead of only rewarding the top salesperson, celebrate when the whole team increases market share by 5% across the US. Second, build a culture of collaboration rather than competition. At companies like Google, teamwork is core. Employees are encouraged to share ideas because they believe the next breakthrough can come from anyone. Finally, lead by example. Show your team that you value collective wins over personal glory. When you celebrate team achievements, whether it's completing a project early or increasing customer satisfaction by 10 points, you send a powerful message: we shine together. Great leaders don't suppress ambition, they guide it. They understand that true success isn't about being the best on the team, but about helping the team become the best version of itself. When you align individual aspirations with the shared mission, you create an unstoppable force. Think of a flock of birds flying in formation across the vast skies of America. Each one is strong, but together, they cover thousands of miles with pride and power. That's the team you can build when you replace I with we. So ask yourself, are you fueling the team's shared journey, or are you just racing alone? The answer will shape not only your success but also the legacy of the team you lead. Imagine you're standing in a crowded room, trying to lead your team through a challenge. Suddenly, someone speaks up, accusing you of being unfair or lacking integrity. Their words strike like arrows, targeting the values you hold most dear. The crowd begins to murmur, and you feel the pressure mounting. This is moral manipulation, a subtle yet dangerous behavior that weaponizes moral values to undermine others. Today, we'll explore this behavior, uncover its harmful effects, and learn how to stand firm as a true leader, safeguarding your team and upholding your vision. Moral manipulation happens when someone exploits values like fairness, integrity, or human rights to attack others, often for personal gain or to weaken a rival. This isn't about championing justice. It's about using morality as a tool to manipulate emotions and erode trust. In the US, where justice and freedom are deeply cherished, this tactic can easily slip into debates. For instance, someone might invoke fairness to criticize you, but their real aim is to discredit you in front of your team. It's like a double-edged sword, sharp and difficult to spot. Picture your team as a well-oiled machine, humming along on trust and respect. Moral manipulation is like a storm, rattling everything. When someone repeatedly uses moral arguments to attack the leader, they don't just weaken you, they sow doubt and chaos within the team. Morale sinks, productivity crashes, and the workplace turns toxic. Take a Starbucks store, for example, serving thousands of coffees daily. If a colleague keeps insisting the leader is unfair, others start to doubt, even if the 8-hour shift schedule was thoughtfully balanced to manage the workload. Now, consider a real-world case at Starbucks, the coffee giant with over 30,000 stores worldwide. A management team member begins criticizing the leader, claiming the 6 to 8 hour shift schedules are unfair. They wield fairness like a slogan, but their true intent is to undermine the leader and stir unrest among the team. In a high-pressure setting like Starbucks, where every minute matters for customer service, this behavior can sap staff morale, lower efficiency, and even impact the daily experience of millions of customers. So, how do you counter it? First, stay grounded. Don't let emotions sweep you away. When faced with moral attacks, focus on facts and tackle the issue transparently. For example, if a Starbucks colleague criticizes your scheduling, hold a meeting, hear everyone out, and make a fair call, like, "We'll review shifts to ensure no one works over 40 hours a week unless they choose to." Second, establish clear communication rules. Welcome feedback, but draw the line at personal attacks. Finally, lead with integrity. When your actions are fair, your team will trust you, no matter the accusations. Leadership isn't about avoiding attacks. It's about turning challenges into opportunities. When facing moral manipulation, you protect not just yourself but your team and shared values. Stand firm, listen, and act transparently. You'll not only overcome but also inspire a strong work environment where ethics are a guiding light, not a destructive weapon. We've just covered 7 toxic behaviors that can derail any team, from small startups to giants like Google, Tesla, or Amazon. These aren't just minor issues, they're silent saboteurs of growth. Left unchecked, they can turn a promising team into a sinking ship. But the good news is, you can change that. By eliminating these toxins, you don't just protect your team, you pave the way to becoming an exceptional leader. Imagine a workplace where trust is rock solid, decisions are made quickly, and everyone feels respected. That's not a distant dream, it's achievable, whether you're leading a small group or hundreds. So, be honest with yourself. Take a close look at your team. Are any toxic behaviors creeping in? Maybe someone's chasing personal gain at the expense of the group, or you're noticing flattery that hides the truth. Don't wait for things to get worse, act today. Set clear principles, encourage honesty, and build an environment where teamwork outweighs ego. Want to learn more about elevating your leadership? Hit that subscribe button to discover strategies used by top companies. And don't forget to leave a comment. Have you faced these behaviors? How did you overcome them? Your story could inspire others to stand up and make a change. Together, we can create teams that don't just survive, they shine. Leadership isn't just a title on a business card, it's the mark you leave. Every day, you have the chance to shape your team, turn challenges into successes, and build something lasting. Don't let toxic behaviors hold you back. Stand strong, lead with integrity, and watch your team soar higher than skyscrapers or vast forests. You can do it. See you in the next video.